host, Chuck Stevenson, coming at you again with another fight review. This one's a little late, but hey, better late than never, right? We're going to Bellator 216 flyweight division. Valerie Loureda versus Colby Fletcher. I was pretty interested to watch this one because of Loureda's being a Tae Kwon Do fighter, and she was really being hyped up. And I'm a pretty big fan of Tae Kwon Do. I never practiced it, but I always liked watching it. So, pretty interested to see what she brought. I watched one of Loureda's amateur fights. She won it, but I wasn't too impressed with it. So they come out. Loureda lands, I believe she landed a spinning back kick right away, but Colby Fletcher immediately returned it with a nice 1-2. And a lot of people were saying, you know, Colby Fletcher was being brought in. She had a 1-2 record coming in. She was just being set up to, you know, be like a super easy win, gonna walk all over. Well, apparently nobody told Colby Fletcher that, because she brought it to Loureda. She came out. She had a very upright. Fletcher had a very upright stance, very Muay Thai-esque, which, you know, she comes from a Muay Thai background, and she didn't have to worry about the takedowns from someone like Loureda, who's going to be out there, you know, trying to show off her kicks more often. Loureda had a nice overhand right I saw a few times. She did land some of her kicks, but some of the others were, I thought, she could use a better selection and better timing. We'll go over that on things to work on later. She did throw like an axe kick, a couple spinning back kicks. Fletcher showed a very, I thought she had a nice stiff jab that she would land on Loureda sometimes. Loureda, like I said, had a nice overhand. She set up her kicks. I thought she did okay setting up her kicks. The thing that to really watch, though, was the ending sequence. Now, this fight ended in a first round TKO. The ending sequence was something I had to watch a couple times and watch the replays to really figure out what exactly was going on. Loureda used her left hand to grab Fletcher's right hand to open up for, she threw a big 1 and then a big 2, and then followed it up with a kick to the body. Now, the second punch, I thought, was what really phased Fletcher, and then the kick is just what really knocked her off balance, and then the kick was what really finished the job of sending her to the ground. And then Loureda showed a hell of a killer instinct. She followed Fletcher down and just started raining down the hammer fists, prompting the referee to stop it. I thought it was a good stoppage on this fight. So it gave the Valerie Loureda the win by TKO in the very first round. Bellator has a potential star going, so congrats to Loureda on her debut win. Things to work on. So for Fletcher, head movement would be the biggest thing to work on. Head movement. I thought she, you know, had a very, I said earlier that she had a very Muay Thai-esque stance, and it showed in that her Muay Thai background showed in her lack of head movement. Few other things she could work on also, but the biggest thing to me was the head movement. For Loureda, I would say the timing and application of her kicks. Someone on the Sherdog forums pointed out to me that if you watch some of the kicks she threw them at the wrong time. Not only was the timing off, but maybe the selection. Like, she threw an axe kick when her opponent was coming in, and that's really more of something you use to back your opponent up as you're moving forward. And another time, she threw a spinning back kick, and it was, I think she threw like a couple of them that were just really late, and against a better opponent, they probably could have caught those kicks and taken her to the ground. Obviously, that wasn't what Fletcher was trying to do. So that's the biggest thing to work on. But, you know, this is only her first pro fight, and, you know, she'll probably look at this and realize, well, I could done this and this better. Really, I thought that's why Bellator matched someone up like Fletcher up against her. Fletcher did a good job. She didn't just roll over for Loureda. Um, she wasn't just like a complete tomato can. She brought the fight to her. You know, she backed her up a few times with that stiff jab that I liked. But really, Fletcher served as a very good opponent in showing things that Loureda needs to work on. Matches to make. Fletcher, now she's 1-3 now. Probably not going to be brought back into Bellator. Who to match Loureda up with is going to be, this is going to be the big challenge, excuse me, for Rich Cho, the Bellator matchmaker, because she's only 1-0. Obviously, she's got a lot to work on, but they hyped her up so much that, you know, you can't just, it's going to be very hard to justify giving her easy fights, but you have to do that. Like, you can't rush someone along. You know, that's one of the things that I don't agree with Bellator, putting these debutante fighters, these debuting fighters, on a main card like this and hyping them up so much, because it's going to make people expect things, but she's a debut fighter. She needs to be brought along slowly, you know. Bellator has done it good in the past with like fighters like AJ McKee, but then they've also done really bad with this with fighters in the past, such as with Heather Hardy when they mixed her up with what's her name, Warhorse, in her second fight, busted Hardy up and TKO'd her bad. I mean, just broke her nose. So it's going to have to be a very fine, delicate balancing game for who they match her up with next. Overall, I liked what I saw out of Loureda, especially her killer instinct. I'm going to keep my eye out on Fletcher as well to see if she continues with MMA. She hadn't fought MMA in several years, and they found her and brought her back. We'll see if she sticks to it or not. She might just go back to kickboxing, Muay Thai, and whatever else she does is, you know, her main occupation. So, guys, let me know what you thought about the fight in the comments down below. The thumbs ups are always appreciated. And what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA now, the best, fastest growing women's mixed martial arts platform on YouTube. Guys, have a good night.